Who starts?
Charlie, since he's new.
Speaking of Charlie, hello.
That's Charlie.
Am I a guest star?
Guest? Yes.
Guest person?
Guest speaker. I guess.
You've yet to
Right?
become a
I
star.
don't know. Well, he's not a speaker. He's not like.
He's a
Anyway.
guest reviewer.
Yeah,
Guest
guest
reviewer.
reviewer.
There we go.
So, hi. Welcome back to
Fair Reviews.
Fair Reviews. So, this is Fair Reviews. You guys kind of know the drill. We review stuff, movies.
Yes.
And what's the movie this time?
Today is
I'm off my
Man
game
of Steel.
today. Man of Steel.
And Charlie will be starting out.
Okay, overall I thought it was a cool movie. I like the armor. Like, that's just something that really stuck out to me. Like, the armor that all these guys used was really cool. Yeah, I like the story. I've never really been a DC Comics fan. I've like not looked at a lot of that stuff, but from my point of view, just like coming into the whole situation, I thought it was a cool story. I thought they did it well. I also thought it was really cool that the main character had Russell Crowe and Kevin Costner as his dads. So,
Lucky guy.
ending. I guess I should probably talk about the beginning first. Gosh, I
Don't give spoilers. We're gonna be a spoiler free.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, never mind. We'll do spoilers. Okay, this is not spoiler free, so spoiler alert.
Okay.
Major spoiler alert.
Beginning was cool. He was like on this planet, and I like the dragon sort of flying thing that the dad had.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like
That was awesome.
I like the fact that he was using this animal mount that he seemed to have a deep connection with, which was cool. Nothing like Avatar, but like still, it was cool.
Oh, hey. It was pretty cool. I don't know.
I thought it was cool.
Even compared to Avatar. Like,
Yeah. No, I'm saying like the connection wise. He
Oh,
didn't have
yeah.
near as much of a connection as the guy with as the blue people with Avatar.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah, so cool stuff there. Yeah, I don't really. Y'all got to start me off because I don't know what this is.
Okay.
I don't know how we do the drill.
Basically, you were doing fine. I mean, we
Yeah.
kind of just take turns telling our parts about it.
So do you
But
want-
we can just talk about it.
Sure. You want us? Let's just talk about it then. I guess.
Okay. So the beginning, like you said, was good, and the creature. That's a good point. I know I probably wouldn't have made that point because I didn't. I don't know. I
Wasn't
like
that
your
a big deal?
input. I like your input, like the armor. Like I would have never thought about that either. But that was cool. The beginning. Oh, I remember. I'm gonna be a little critical.
Yo.
The beginning.
This is the first.
I was kind of like, why? For two reasons. Reason number one, it started with childbirth. Movies that start with childbirth are kind of annoying to me. I do not like a movie starting out, you see the beginning, and it's, and I'm like, no, that's not what I want to hear at the beginning of a movie. I'm sorry.
Would you rather have before childbirth?
Well, I mean, like, I understood the fact. I understood the fact that it had to be done like that because of the fact that it was showing that he was a natural birth. It was a natural birth.
That's
And that was a
special.
big part of the movie. It was huge. Like the fact that he was the first in years to be naturally born. So I understand that, but I just didn't like the fact that it had to start with that.
You could open up with him crying.
Yeah, like the baby's there, you know.
That could have been too much like Lion King.
No. Hey, but even if it was, it's fine. But Lion King was awesome. But second reason, man, I don't remember my second reason. My second thing that I didn't like about the movie.
beginning.
Yeah.
Doug Walker said shaky cam.
I like that. In an action movie, I think that shaky cam actually is cool.
Now, see, I don't know what Doug Walker's problem was, but he said it was throughout the entire movie. I didn't see that during the entire movie. I just saw it in the beginning.
It was throughout the whole thing.
It was. I didn't notice it, but I only noticed it during the beginning because it was when they stood still is when the camera shook the most, which I hated. But where the Hunger Games, it did it properly. Like it only shook when it was like when she was walking up the stairs and it looked like we were seeing through her eyes. And actually went up and down like with her legs as if you were actually going the stairs.
Yeah, it did.
And then and then it shook when all the kids were being killed because that was a good thing because if it actually stood still and showed how they're all dying, it could get
Yeah. But in this movie,
it's just standing still.
it was kind of ridiculous. But I liked this shaky because it kind of. I don't know, there's certain movies that do it right, and I think this movie did it right because it brought you into the action, and you just felt the suspense.
That's when I didn't notice it during the fighting. That's when it actually seemed
like it seemed real, yeah.
But like with the whole shaky cam with a regular movie, I won't say regular because when you think of found footage films, you know you're going to get shaky here and there.
It has to be shaky. If it's not, then it's not realistic.
Yeah. Or, well, I mean,
in a found footage movie.
Yeah, but whenever you're filming, when we did Sasquatch, you weren't very shaky, so.
Wow.
And some found footage films.
Well, I was kinda, you just couldn't really tell.
Yeah, because you were moving with your head, but I mean, you weren't like this.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyways, that's besides the point. That's neither here nor there.
I don't remember. So what's next? What happens? Okay, so the beginning of the movie is set in
Birth.
Krypton.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then they move from there. What did y'all think about? I want to know y'all's opinion first of the cut scenes of him being a kid.
The flashbacks?
The flashbacks. Instead of it progressing, they did flashbacks of him being a kid.
Charlie, you got kids?
Well, I've kind of always been a fan of flashbacks. I liked it. I think it's more, I don't know how, but it just seems more immersive. It pulls me into the story better. It's like, because it's more like real life, because you don't go through life in a progression. It's not like a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not well, it is technically chronological, but you have memories, you have things that bring you back to your past. And so, I'm not sure if they did that like the best way possible, but I think they did it pretty good. It was enough to keep me entertained.
He would really like Naruto.
Yeah. Anyway, side point.
So what did I think of the flashbacks? Okay. So at first I didn't think there were going to be flashbacks, and I was coming in not wanting flashbacks in a way, because I didn't know they were coming.
Yeah.
But when they did, I was like, oh man, we get flashbacks? I thought it was going to be chronological throughout his life. But they worked it really well. And one thing I noticed was that even the flashbacks weren't chronological, because you'd go from 10 to 18, 15, 20, and it worked well because those flashbacks that he had worked into the story. It was like every flashback was a lesson that he learned previously that came into what was going on. It was like he was actually remembering it. Like he was actually thinking, I remember what my dad said.
Yeah, basically that's what it was, Yeah, I would agree as far as flashbacks. I wanted to know their opinion first, but I agree. I've heard some people say they didn't like the fact that it had flashbacks. They wish they showed them growing up, but we see that all the time. That's how every movie is. So I liked that this was different and that he did that. So that was cool.
Yeah. But see, the thing with the flashbacks, if they tried to do it in chronological order, they would have to add more dialogue, if you think about it.
I have a spiel of dialogue too.
So dialogue filler, basically.
Dialogue, I guess I'll just get into it. Dialogue, I was actually kind of annoyed with this film.
Really?
I think it was okay. I think that they did the job as far as it was a good movie, but I think that the dialogue could have been better. And I don't know why, because the Batman movies were written so well, and Christopher Nolan, wrote and produced those. Well, this one, even though it wasn't directed by Christopher Nolan, he was involved in the script writing. So I was hoping for something like Dark Knight style script, and it wasn't for me as far as the dialogue goes. It wasn't. I felt like they were repeating the same phrase that his dad tells him different ways throughout the entire film. But it was basically the same phrase, only said in different ways. And I don't know if that makes sense. And I'm trying to think of the actual thing, but it's like that pick me up encouragement that his dad gives him.
Which dad?
But it's the not Jarrell, but
Okay.
Jonathan Kent. And it was kind of like a repeat over and over of that. But in my opinion, it wasn't done right. I think you can repeat a phrase and it be significant to the movie. In some movies, you can do that. But with this one, they didn't grab a phrase and say, this is the phrase that's going to get Superman through. They just kind of tweaked it a bunch. And it just, for me, it was like, I found myself cringing one time. And I can't remember exactly what he said, but Jonathan Kent says something to little Superman, little Clark. And I was like, he just said that, but just a little differently, and it's still doing the dramatic, awesome music. And I was like, and I cringed a little bit because like that's bad dialogue. But I don't know. I thought it was okay. I just wish that the awesome, dramatic, pick me up kind of music started right after something that was said differently, or maybe it was written differently, but it was like the same thing, kind of.
So
I don't know how to explain it unless I find the script and I show you what I mean.
Okay, I think I know what you mean. You're talking about like how he told him how special he was and how he's going to change the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how
Like those talks.
Yeah. But when you said the music, I was kind of like thinking, well, for I think Ant is thinking about the dialogue more, but I think it's the music that's bothering me more. Because you said that it should have been after. So when it began before you started talking, it was like, ah, crap, here comes that same old speech that we heard a while ago.
Yeah.
But if he had said it and the music came back on, it's more like, he just said that line again. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
So if it had went that way, do you think that would have?
Yeah, actually, you saying that now, that's true. I think the music did have a lot to do with it, because they gave it that dramatic feel 3 or 4 times, and it was like, he just said that with that same dramatic music. And it was like, ugh. So I think you're right. I think they could have done without the music until like that last time he says something like, you're special, you're going to change the world, and then has the dramatic music, and he flies up, and he's like, yes. But I didn't get that.
Kind of like how they should have done is like, you're special at, or done the line, and then we go back to present, he's just kind of like, that music starting to play, and he fights.
Yeah, just one scene like that would have been just, goosebumps everywhere. But it was like a bunch of scenes like that, and it was like, that just ruins the feel of it.
I know we hadn't gotten off of this, and I brought this up with Matt Man when we were talking about it. The armor?
Yeah.
So the ship that was on Earth for 2,000 years. So did they not come up with the armor until after that prior 2,000 years? Or what? Because shouldn't Superman's armor have been with him? I mean, his dad didn't know, oh, you're going to find a suit in the ship. Because you're not going to know whether or not there's a suit there. And also, why is the suit blue and red and not black like everyone else's? I mean, was the original color blue and red, and did they not have armor, and then they learned, hey, maybe we should put armor on ourselves?
Well, it was the different, like, families or something had different colors and different symbols. Because, what's his name? General Zod.
And even his dad.
It had a different symbol. It wasn't an S. It was something else.
Yeah, but that was because he was. I think they did that because even Superman's dad had an S.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's
But-
like a family thing.
But I think Zod's entire army had that thing. It looked like a D almost. Didn't his entire army have that?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess so.
So I think like the S stood for hope. I think that's what everyone on Krypton was doing. But Zod and his army had that weird D,
maybe that's what it is.
which probably stood for something else
Yeah.
that they didn't explain.